Hi, welcome to this quick video for installing Python. This will form part of a series of videos to quickly get started with and explore Python and programming in general, as well as moving on to specific types of programming. To start off, open up a browser and search for Python. The very first result would most likely be for python.org. Click on it to load the site. Once loaded, there'll be a menu for downloads. Hovering over this, you can see the various options for operating systems, etc. You can also simply click the download section itself and it'll bring you to the operating system you're currently using. For Windows, you'll be able to see the Python Install Manager, which is a Windows app style installer, or the Standalone Installer, which is the older version. We'll take a look at both. You can skip to the part you want through the chapters option. Click on the Download Python Install Manager button to start the download. This should take several seconds to a minute depending on your connection speed. Once downloaded, navigate to where the file is downloaded and run the installer. The start screen should show some basic information and access permissions. Click on Install to start. Once complete, you'll see a notification that the app installer is ready. You can close out the App Install Manager now. Open up the Start menu and search for the newly installed Python Install Manager and run it. This will start a bit of housekeeping. Accept the request to allow paths longer than 260 characters. This will bring up the user access control dialog, which you can accept to allow the update. Next up is adding the Python directory to the system path to allow you to access it from anywhere on the system. Accept this as well, unless if you have a specific need not to. Next up is the actual runtime, which allows the system to interpret and convert Python into bytecode to execute. CPython is just the implementation of this written in the C programming language. Type Y to accept. This will start the installation of the latest version of Python as well as allow global access to Python's package manager, pip. Once this completes, you can search for Python in the Start menu and an app called Python followed by the version number will appear. Running this will start a Python interpreter shell in the command prompt module. This is where you can type and run Python commands instantly. A similar and preferred way to run Python commands is through Python's native shell program called idle. You can run simple Python commands to test things out. I use this when trying to understand what a piece of code does while working on my projects or tutorials I'm following without needing a fully set up program to run and test. To use the Standalone Installer, click on the download link. This should take roughly the same time as the Python Install Manager. Once downloaded, you can launch the installer. This was the only way to install Python previously, and you can see a note saying that this installer will no longer be available after Python 3.15. The current release version is 3.14. The 3.15 pre-release version has a tentative date for October 2026. The default settings are good for most cases, which includes idle, pip, and other necessities. There are two options at the bottom. One for using admin privileges for installing py.exe, and one for adding python.exe to the path, which allows global access to Python from the system. Make sure both of these are checked. Now you can click on the Install Now option to start the installation. This will bring up the user access control warning. Select Yes to start the installation, which can take a few minutes to complete. Once done, there are some useful resources available from the Python organization to help you get started. You can go through these if you like, otherwise the installer can be closed out. To test that Python was installed successfully, you can open up the command prompt and type in ---- version. This will show the current Python version installed on the machine if the installation was successful. You can also run the Python command interpreter by typing Python. Here you can run simple Python commands. To close out, simply type exit followed by an opening and closing parenthesis. And there you have it. You now have Python installed on your system. In the future, I'll be diving into basic concepts and using the Pygame library to get familiar with programming and simple systems to lay the foundation for getting into more advanced topics down the line. If you'd like to see that and help me grow, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you and see you soon.